Hello, everyone. Welcome to week number 6 in Science 200. Just a couple of weeks left before you're at the end of the term. So let's see what we've got going on. Last week you learned about biases in scientific research, biases that the researcher brings, that your subject brings, that the company who's giving you the money to do the research brings, etc., and how we try to get rid of that bias in scientific research because it really has no place in being there. You learned some more about the Deepwater Horizon oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, and this week you will also learn some more about the ecological damage that was done when all of that oil pumped into the Gulf of Mexico. And you worked on your planning document. We're going to talk about that. So this week, what do you have going on? You got discussion board postings this week. You haven't had those in the last couple of weeks. This week, you've got discussion board postings due again. Your initial post is always due by Thursday night. Your two response posts are due by Sunday night. So your initial post is telling us the most interesting thing that you learned when you did the research on your topic. So of course you have to tell us what your topic is. GMOs, electric cars, climate change, whatever it is. What was most interesting to you? Why? Why did it surprise you? Why did you find it interesting? And why is your topic relevant to you? So why in the world does climate change have anything to do with you? Why are you interested in electric cars? What draws you to biodiversity conservation? Why is it interesting to you? In your response post, what interests you about the other person's topic? So you could choose two people who have your same topic. There are a lot of you who did GMOs. What did that person find out that was interesting about GMOs that maybe you didn't find out? Or you can choose a couple of other topics, different topics like electric cars, vehicles, ocean acidification, biodiversity conservation. What interests you about that person's topic, and what other questions do you have after reading about their research? Now, if you can't come up with other questions about GMOs than what people have explained as their interesting item, I don't know, because there's a lot out there on GMOs. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of questions about it. So you can find questions to ask about just about anybody's kind of topic. In your Sumo web text, you're going to learn a little bit more about the Deepwater Horizon oil spill and how the tiniest microscopic organisms were affected by this oil spill and what happened to the ecosystems, the marine ecosystems in the Gulf of Mexico, and even further than that, because the oil spill spread around the Gulf of Mexico, around to the Atlantic, and so many animals were killed. So many birds, dolphins, manatees, fish, and then you get to all the microscopic life too that was absolutely destroyed by that oil spill. So you're going to take a look at that again this week. Not much work on that, but you have a few pages to read on the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. So that's interesting. And you'll see that not a heck of a lot has changed in the oil industry because they just expect there will be a catastrophe once in a while and you'll just pay for the cleanup and the government will come in and help you too. Yeah, that's just my opinion. But anyway, yeah, the oil companies haven't done a whole heck of a lot to prevent stuff like this from happening. You're going to be working on your planning document for the last time. So this is the final version of your project. You're going to make a hypothesis. All right, so in the beginning, you formed a question about how you were going to take a look at this particular topic, what angle you were going to go from to look at your particular topic. This hypothesis that you're going to make is a testable question, so it's much more specific than your original general question that you asked, okay? A hypothesis is what you would form if you were going to do experiments. So it has to be really, really specific, okay? That's the difference between the first question that you asked and this one. And then how would scientists go about answering this particular question? What kinds of experiments would they do? What kinds of statistics would they have to find or look up or measure or whatever in order to answer the question? So that's what you're going to be working on this week at the end of your document. Now, one thing, I go back and look to see if you have corrected what I asked you to correct when I've written your feedback. I go back to the other versions. So make sure that you correct things as you go. You want this to be in the best version that you possibly can get, because these topic assignments, these project assignments, are the ones with the most weight. If you notice, the textbook assignments are only 12 points apiece, but these count for much more. And at the end, when you make your presentation, you present it online to me through some PowerPoint slides, and you make your speaker's notes. Those are very big grades. So you want to have all of this done by the time you get there so that you will get all of those points. So planning document, last version of your written paper on your particular topic. The next 2 weeks, you're going to be making a set of speaker's notes that will go with a set of PowerPoint slides. So week 7 is the speaker's notes, everything that you would be saying about the slides that you are going to present. So it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and make those slides, at least rough drafts of them, so you know what you're going to be talking about on each of your 5 to 7 slides, 8, 9, however many it takes you. Plan that out and then write your speaker's notes for that. And then that last week, you will be making your slides, your presentation slides, PowerPoint, Google Slides, Canva, Prezi. There's so many different ways to make slides. I've seen them all, and any one of those will work. So you're actually making a presentation for that last week. So that's coming up. Oh, gotta go over here. Okay. Tip of the week, proofread your work. Proofread your work. If somebody else is going to read your work, make sure you go back through it. Don't just sit and type it out on a computer and then send it. Nope, you better not do that at work. Woo! Your boss will not be happy when he or she sees all those misspellings and missed punctuation, and where you don't capitalize words and where you abbreviate words. This is not Twitter. This is not text messages. You're turning in work as if it were business work, okay? Like on a job. So make sure you proofread your work. One hint about this: if you are having some trouble, here's one way to catch all of your mistakes. Read it out loud to yourself. Now, do I think that sounds silly? It absolutely sounds silly. But read it out loud to yourself. See if it makes sense. See if it reads well. See if you have any mistakes. Fix them. A software application like Word will catch grammar, will catch misspelling. So pay attention to those. When you get those little red lines, or whatever color they are on your computer, correct them, because they pop up right there in front of you. So correct them. All right, with that being said, I hope that you have a great week number 6, and let me know if you need anything. We're headed toward the end of the term, so you got to be getting caught up if you haven't gotten caught up so far, because we're headed to the end of the term very shortly here. All right, let me know if you need anything.